All I ask of you is that you be receptive to the change that is coming into your life right now. The change is happening in your life right now. Things are changing. Demand is increasing. Life is relentless. The question is, are you willing to bend and flex with it? Are you willing to receive the workload and the opportunity? Because with the opportunity comes a fixed workload. But the truth is, it's only so much work. It's only so much suffering. There is a limit to it. It's not forever. Yes, there is no finish line, and once you reach the peak after you've completed the marathon, you just want to go run an ultra. That's life. Humans love the upward climb. That's what we're built to do. So don't fear that, but don't let that stop you. It is the human's role and existence in life to be the connector. You are the connector. You are the stuff in between, the suffering and the bliss and all of that crap in between. It's like when people tell you to make ends meet and you're gonna struggle to make ends meet, that's part of the process. But that's not something to resist, because in the change, there is growth. When change is happening right now, when demand is increasing, when opportunity is ever evolving right now at the most rapid pace we've ever seen, ever, you have to understand just how much can actually change in a short period of time if you allow it. If you continue to lapse into old habits, old behaviors, old addictions, old fears, and thought patterns, you're going to continue to stay the same person. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But if you can look at what you're facing right now and understand that this in and of itself is an opportunity, that whatever suck you're going through is your growth platform into the future that you desire so badly, then it doesn't seem so bad. Like the idea of college for me is not about like, oh, this degree is going to give me certainty and that's going to give me a job. It's probably not going to get me a job, but it is a hard thing, and it is going to develop me mentally, and it is going to force me to become a weapon with my time and with deep work. Now, other people might say that's an absolute waste of your time. Why would you do that just to get a piece of paper? I'm not doing it to get a piece of paper. I'm doing it because it's hard. I'm doing it because it aligns with the things that I want to obsess about, and you should just follow your curiosity. It doesn't mean everything you do that is fun needs to be monetized, or everything that you do for money needs to be fun, because oftentimes the process isn't fun. Oftentimes the business isn't fun. A lot of the business is boring. It's just boring. So that's just the process. The process doesn't need to be fun, and you shouldn't require it to be fun. You should bring fun to the process. My work and my job as a server is not inherently fun. I choose to bring fun to it. I choose to bring love to it. I choose to bring a higher vibrational energy, because that's the place that I choose to reside as a human being. Because I'm not gonna choose to stay at this level where everybody else around me is, where everyone's telling me, if you give me a reason to be negative, I'm gonna be negative. If you give me a reason to be happy, I'm gonna be happy. That's a very weak, soft, fragile mindset, and it doesn't get you anywhere. But if you can receive the change and understand that, oh, I'm actually anti-fragile. I'm actually self-transcendent. I'm actually an infinite being stuck inside a mortal body. And yes, that's going to create feelings of anxiety from time to time, because I can play any idea or thought or anxiety or projection about the future in my head, which is something that no other mammal can do. Okay, no other mammal can self-induce anxiety, can blame other animal tribes for screwing them over and then create entire wars and, napalm and destroy each other. That's something that only humans can do, because we're self-transcendent, and we choose how to deal with that transcendence, and that either leans towards hate, negative emotions, shame, chaos, anger, misery, scarcity, or abundance, love, grace, and truth. You get to choose which way you attitudinally direct your conscious mind. In the car, when you first wake up, when you get to work, when you're working out, it doesn't matter what you're doing. All of your habits reflect an attitude of your conscious mind. And my encouragement to you is to direct that forward, because the change doesn't have to be as hard as you think it is. Yes, the grind will exist. The grind will exist. That's inevitable. But the grind will exist no matter what you do. And your spiritual state, your energy, your attitude throughout whatever process it is can actually be one of bliss, even in the most extreme pain or even in the most extreme growth. You can stay in this equanimitous state, if that's a word, and not be so heavily influenced by what appears to be success or failure, because both of them are kind of imposters. There's like a whole poem on it. I'm not going to get into it right now. But I just see my life right now, and making ends meet is hard. Making ends meet is hard, but you are the connective tissue. You are the connective tissue. And the question is, are you developing that connective tissue? Are you developing your attention to detail? Are you developing your attention to goodness and to truth? Or is your attention just being controlled by mass media and social media and pornography and drugs and women, or just random desires and impulses of your body? Do you have self-control over your attention? Because that is the fundamental thing that builds the rest of your life. It's all built on what is your focus. That's why it says in Proverbs, keep my words in front of your vision at all times. It's saying, I need you to lock in, and I need you to tune out the world's distraction, because the world's gonna have so much noise competing for your mind, but your mind can only hold so much stuff. And when you choose to replace all of the noise with truth, and with life force, and with meaningful pursuits and real relationships and energy, like palpable energy and real, like powerful thoughts instead of weak thoughts, your life changes. It sounds so overly simplistic, but it's the morning routine of getting up, meditating, stretching, taking a cold shower, drinking coffee, and not touching my phone, forgetting about my phone for 6 hours, that creates this blissful state of consciousness where I feel like anything's possible, because my mind's not full of all this distraction and drama and what everybody else is doing and all the other things that I think I need to be doing. Instead, I'm actually just focused on my world. And this is just one morning, so maybe it sounds like I'm talking out of my ass right now, but that's just the shift versus watching porn the night before, or smoking weed and staying up till 5 a.m. and then waking up at 12 p.m., which is the time it is right now, 12:18 p.m., and then being like, oh damn, like what's going on? And you're just hungover, right? Energy always has a hangover. Whatever you do has a hangover. Everything you place your attention on has a hangover in your mind, because it keeps playing in your mind. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It's constantly replaying and learning and conditioning itself to respond and adapt to all of the information you put in the field. But you get to direct where you focus that attention. So if your attention is always on what she said and what she thinks and what those parents are gonna think about you when you're doing this and that, like you're just gonna be in this noisy space and you're not gonna be able to function. Human beings aren't meant to do that. I think we've always been doing this. I think it only got exacerbated with the rise of social media and the iPhone and smartphones, and just like rapid hyperconnectivity of technology just made the whole ability to freak out about other people's lives and compare yourself and just spiral so much easier. However, that human tendency of discouragement, of self-discouragement, self-distraction, and blaming the drama and just kind of looking at what everyone else is doing, or looking at all the people that are opposing you and giving them all of your power, that has been something we've done for ages. It's why people divide. It's why nations go to war with each other. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. It's not right. It's broken. It's a broken mentality, and it's a dangerous mentality to say that, oh, whatever you give me is just how I'm gonna be. And if you choose to just take whatever life gives you, you're just choosing to be fragile and weak. You're choosing to listen to the propaganda that tells you that you're weak, that tells you that you're fragile, that tells you that you're injured and that you're hurt and that you're broken and that all of your emotions are absolute truth. When in reality, a lot of your emotions are warped concepts from, they're hangover from crap that you were putting in your brain 72 hours ago. Whether it was people that you were hanging out with that are low vibrational people, or it was content that you were consuming that was low vibrational content, or it was habits and things that objects and food and nutrition and like crap that you were consuming that led you to this low state. But we've been conditioned by propaganda to believe that it's them, it's their fault, and we should hate them. And if we could just get rid of them, it would solve all of our problems. And it wouldn't, because you'd still be stuck with you at the end of the day. And you have to look inside and actually ask yourself, why do I have all this hate? Why do I have all this bitterness? Why do I have all this anger and shame and guilt and resentment? Like that's a dark place to be. And I'm only saying this because this is real for me. This is my experience. I've had issues with my family, like with my dad and my mom for years. Like I've had extreme bitterness towards my mom and my dad. Just because like, they want you to go to school and it feels like they always want you to be better or whatever, right? Like I'm a middle child. I feel like I'm a perfectionist and I have to just perform to get any attention or validation at all. And I don't want to psychoanalyze right now, but the whole point of me saying that is like, every human being has these little marks on their soul that give them triggers. And you might have triggers, but it's your responsibility to heal from them and work on them, because it's probably not them. It's probably not the other side. It's probably not that person that is making you so mad. It's really not them, because even if you remove them from the equation, you'd find a reason to get pissed off and angry and in your victim or whatever mentality that you're in. We get addicted to the pain and the misery that we create in our lives because it is certain. It's a certain way of being. It is certainty. Humans just cling to certainty even if it sucks. And we'll take on a whole identity of like, I'm the victim and screw all these people. They screwed me over and they're just against me. They're probably not even thinking about you. Humans are so selfish, they really can't think about that many other people. Some people are a little bit, passive aggressive. Like that's real. There are narcissists. There are self-effacing people. There are perfectionists. There are combative people that feel the need to win against everybody. That's real. But that is not a generalization. Like most human beings are a little bit ignorant. Sounds terrible, but just most of us aren't fully mentally developed. We're not fully self-aware. We haven't really worked on ourselves. We don't meditate. We don't pray. We don't fast. We don't detach from technology. We don't read things that expand our minds. We don't consciously consume content that grows us into the vision that we want because we didn't even cast a vision in the first place. That's what I mean. Most people are living unevaluated lives. So to say that, they're evaluating their lives to screw you over, you're giving them too much power and too much credit. They don't deserve that much credit. Don't give anyone that much credit for how bad your life sucks or is great, okay? At the end of the day, it was self-created through your transcendent brain that can make up any story and confirm it with any amount of information in your field of attention. So with all that said, that was a long rant. I didn't think I had all that in my head. All that being said, time is shifting. Time has passed. 9 months of this year are over. And now you have a very small amount of time left in this year. And you have to ask yourself how you actually want to be throughout the rest of the year. Who you actually want to become. Not what you think you should achieve, but who you actually want to be. The energy you actually want to stay in. The daily life that you want to create, because it is in the daily life that you actually build the dream. The dream is not somewhere out there. It is in who you are being on a 24-hour basis. And if who you're being on a 24-hour basis is not remotely aligned with the goals and the visions and the ambitions that you have 5-7 years from now, they're not going to magically appear. They don't just manifest by you just simply thinking it once upon a time. This is something you live and you breathe every day. And when you breathe it, the process becomes like breathing air. And at first, it's a little tight and your lungs hurt and your body is burning and your legs are burning off. And you're like, man, I don't think I can handle this. But as long as you allow yourself to keep going, you will find out that you actually have more. You have more. You are the connective tissue. You are the point between now and the future. All of that, you're going to be doing it. Now, on top of that, you also have a God that is literally holding the entire process in his hands. So if you really think that it's all dependent on you, it's not. There is this source that brought you into this world that has this vision for the ultimate you. And I want you to see that version of you when you get to heaven and be like, I actually lived that. I don't want you to get to the end of your life and realize you didn't become the person you were meant to be. Not everyone believes in God, so if you don't believe in God, sorry. But I believe at the deepest core, human beings have this blueprint, this design inside of them for who they're meant to be. Like it is their highest self. And the highest self comes from the ultimate self. The ultimate self is what I'm calling the source, God, the oneness that created the entire everything, right? And that's described in a lot of different scriptures in a lot of different ways. But that's what it is. It is the one truth, the one binding thing. And there is a beautiful imprint of God inside of you. And if we do not allow that to manifest, we feel depressed and miserable because we have this void between who we are and who we're meant to be. And that chasm in between, we just get lost in noise. We just fill it with noise because we don't want to see it. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to feel the tangible pain of not being who we are designed to be. And if you're feeling that pain or you're feeling that hatred, look, don't take my words. Explore for yourself where that's coming from. Ask your own questions, but please just dive deeper into it and don't stay in the current mental state that you're in, because that's just a result of the last 72 hours of conditioning and, whatever you thought growing up. Those are all just ideas. Not all of it's true. So maybe we can question some things and we can be a little more receptive to what's coming into your life now, because it is happening now. Life is happening now and it's not yesterday. And at some point we have to release that hope for having had a better past and understand that this is all we have now. You get one shot. So be open to everything, be attached to nothing, accept everything, and expect nothing other than that life is this massive mix, and you don't have to control all of the things that are just happening in the world. You just need to control you. It's you versus you. That is literally it. So you don't have to check your phone in the morning. You don't have to use all of these mechanisms to cope with the stress. There are actually ways that you can just lock in and have better energy and sleep better and feel more clear and then get stronger and then build muscle and then burn fat and become more productive and make more money and free yourself from the current lifestyle that you're stuck in right now. But there is legitimately a way. So be open to it. Because if you're not open to it, it will never present itself to you. Okay, that's all I got. I gotta go. Bye. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. It really helps. Bye.